What is up, my peoples? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing a weekly forecast for all of us to let you know what the cosmic weather is like, what the vibe is like for the week that starts with January 10th of 2021. And I'm surprised I got the year right. Don't you guys do that sometimes too? Like when a new year starts, it's hard to get used to saying it. You might say the previous year. But anyway, January 10th through January 27th, January 20, January 10th through January 17th of 2021, my bad, is what I'm covering. Okay. Before we get started, just a reminder, I do have horoscopes available on my website. January horoscopes are still available. This month is still popping with so much energy. Okay. And if you want to know how that affects you by your sign, most def, check out your January horoscope. And I don't know why that's still there. I deleted it. But anyway, 2021 horoscopes are available too for the whole year. You've already seen there's been some crazy things popping off already in the first week of this year. How is the rest of it going to go for you based on your rising sign or your sun sign? Maybe even your moon sign. Most definitely check one of these out. They are up to 2 hours long of plenty of information about the year of 2021 based on your sign. I do specifically cover love and specifically cover money as well. Each of those topics are discussed in these horoscopes with what's popping for you this year based on your sign. So yeah, most def check those out on the horoscopes page. And I am, as of right now, I think through the rest of this week only, I will be taking some more orders for personal readings. If you would like me to read your chart and tell you what what it says about your personality, here's a natal chart reading that I offer. I do offer love readings as well for singles and for if you are coupled or interested in someone, and as well as career readings. Love and career readings do include horoscopes, okay? So most definitely book one of those. And also solar returns for the year. That is your personal yearly horoscope too. I am still offering those as well. So only through the rest of this week, you guys, and I'm going to close my queue for a little bit. So if you would like to book a personal reading with me, definitely hit my website and I'll leave the information in this video too. Okay. All right. So what's popping this week? So we start off on the 10th with the moon in Sagittarius. Oh, and I think this is our saving grace, you guys, because we have a big old stellium in the sky of all this Capricorn and Aquarius energy that's like mad serious. And then we have energy in Taurus too, which is very serious as well. The earth signs can be very serious, and Aquarius is an air sign, which they can be very lighthearted, very nonchalant in nature. But this is the last air sign of the zodiac, and they're ruled by Saturn as well as Uranus. So Saturn's energy is very serious, okay? And Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn. So two Saturn ruled signs right next to each other. And Saturn is all in the mix of all these planetary energies too. So there's a serious vibe that's going on. But while the moon is still in Sagittarius, at least through the 10th, you know, that brings this vibe of like, we could still joke, we could still share memes with each other. You know, it's we could still just kind of laugh things off and not take things too seriously. So moon and Sag energy is so like happy-go-lucky, lighthearted, very no worries type of a vibe. So I like that being in the mix because like I said, in the days following, yeah, the vibe shifts. The moon joins the big old Capricorn party in the sky. Okay, the moon will join in that party on the 11th of January. So it'll be joining Venus and the sun and Pluto all in Cap. So what does this mean? Well, when the moon is in Capricorn, we are looking at things with the more discerning eyeball. Okay, we are looking at things from a perspective of, you know, is this worth my time? Is this going to provide longevity? Is this going to be good for the long run? Yada, yada, yada. We're not about living in the moment anymore like we were when we had Sag energy. Now it's all about, what's going on now, but also in the future, and what are we doing now that's going to affect the future, and is it going to be secure and safe and all of that stuff, right? Also, I wanted to kind of give a little recap, you guys, on last week, just a little bit. I know I'm jumping around a bit. Please forgive my third house transits. Third house energy is much like Gemini, which could be very squirrel, just like you're here, you're there, then you're back here, then you're over there, then you're over there. Okay. But last week we did see the destruction of property via rioting and protesting, right? And I did discuss this. I did talk about Mars going into Taurus, and it's now in the same sign as Uranus. So that means that people may want to destroy things and rebel, because Mars likes to destroy. Taurus rules property and material physical things, and then Uranus is activism, and it's also can be destruction, like sudden unexpected things, right? So those two energies combined together, yeah. What did we see pop in on January? Was it the 6th? Yeah, on January 6th, as soon as Mars went into Taurus. Like, actually, when Mars was at the 29th degree of Aries, that's when shit really popped off. Because Mars was still squaring Pluto, and I think Mars was squaring Mercury at the time. So Mars was just like, Mars and Aries at that 29th degree, that critical degree. That means people were angry, man, like, and they were expressing it. And Mars and Aries could be very destructive too. So I didn't expect anything like that to pop off until maybe around the 20th, when Mars is going to be exactly conjoined to Uranus. But as soon as Mars stepped into Taurus, man, right before that, here comes a rah energy. But yeah, just expect things like that to continue to pop up throughout Aquarius season, especially possibly throughout the month of January and into February. We may have either more like protesting or rioting and stuff like that, or people are just going to have more of an attitude towards it, maybe not perform actions, but you'll see like people speaking, in ways like speaking out and speaking up and everything, especially as Mercury continues to make aspects also to Mars and Uranus. Okay, because Mercury's communication and speaking, and then Uranus is, activism and keeping it raw and real. It's being authentically true to yourself and spreading messages out there, especially to the masses, especially through technology and social media. So, and Mercury entered Aquarius also last week, you guys. And Mercury continues to, make aspects to Mars and Uranus together. So, yeah, but I'll get more into that in a second. But yeah, this week, though, is filled with Mercury making like hella aspects, because at first he was in a conjunction with Saturn, right? The exact conjunction of Mercury and Saturn together was more so like a few days back, like I think around the 9th of January. Was it the 9th? Mercury and Saturn together, exactly, yeah, in Aquarius. And that is, that's like really critical thinking and like enforcing rules and regulations and stuff, especially when it comes to things like gathering of people and also the internet and apps and stuff. I did kind of see people post a few headlines. I've kind of been off of social media because I've had a lot of other things to handle, but I have browsed just a little bit here and there, and I saw people saying that there's some issues with some apps, and like people are like, there's more rules being implemented and stuff. And I know that's something that was predicted like for this month because of all the Aquarius energy in the air, especially conjoined to Saturn. Saturn rules the government. It rules okay, rules being enforced by top dogs, people in charge who are like, usually they're like old and stingy and mean, and they just want to say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. So Mercury conjoined to planet Saturn, which rules all of that. Yeah. I can imagine that there have been at least some talks about enforcing some new rules to do with social media or social media apps. if not the actual enforcing of them and putting out like some sort of regulations and laws. I don't know, whatever. Like I said, I haven't really been on stuff too much in the last few days, but you guys let me know if anything has come up and what exactly it is. If you have seen anything, I'll go online soon enough and like check and see. But yeah, so Mercury and Saturn were exact on January 9th, and then we move ahead to the 11th when Mercury is in a conjunction with Jupiter. Now, Mercury and Jupiter together, normally this is really happy energy and like the energy of manifestation of things, because you have full faith and belief in what you want and what you say. Like, you believe what you say to be true, and if you put your wishes out there with Jupiter, like you think big and you speak big, then big things will happen, right? But they are still conjoined to Saturn, which old man Saturn, he will contract and dry things up that's next to him. You know what I'm saying? So you may be able to like throw your wishes out there and dream big and everything, but Saturn's going to make sure, if Jupiter makes things happen, Saturn's going to make sure you put in that work. Okay, he is going to say, no, Jupiter, you can't just hand things to people. They have to believe in them. But yet, yes, but believing is not it. Like, there's work that has to be put in. And also, is this good for the long term? Saturn loves to ask that question. And Jupiter is like about living in the moment and excitement, you know? So those energies are really popping off. So we can be back and forth between feeling very optimistic and very pessimistic. Saturn is pessimism, and Jupiter is optimism, and Mercury is the mind and thinking. So since it's in a conjunction with both, there's like a hot and cold, like a back and forth energy of the two. But yes, these energies are really good for going after your goals and working hard for them and having the mindset to do so. It only lasts like a few days because Mercury moves pretty fast, you know. But yeah, that's going to be exact. Mercury and Jupiter together exact on the 11th. Also on the 11th, this is when the moon goes into Capricorn, like I said, you know, so the vibe's a little more serious at that time. Our moods are a little more serious. And there may be more, you know, people may be even more interested in like government stuff more than usual. What's going on with the government and society and all of that. And with business. Yeah, that's totally gonna be the vibe. When we get to the 12th, this is when we have a new moon in Capricorn. It's like really late at night over here in the US, like on the West Coast. It's like super late at night. Okay. It's around 10 p.m. but 10 or 9 p.m. depending upon where you live. But it can be into the next day on the 13th that it's counted as. So new moon in Capricorn. Now, what's interesting about this new moon, it's at 23 degrees of Cap, right? And it's in conjunction with Pluto at 24 degrees of Cap. So it's like right next to Pluto. What does this mean? So new moon in Capricorn, well, there's something that has to be cleared away out of our lives, you know, first, before we can welcome new in, right? And the new moon's conjoined to Pluto. Pluto is like about destroy and rebuild. It is burn things down to the ground and then build something new from the ashes and the rubble of what we burnt down. So Pluto is also the lord of the underworld. Have you guys ever noticed a symbol for Pluto? Check it out. This is something I may talk about in a later video. Nobody better bite my shit either, okay? And copy me. Because I've been wanting to show this for a long time, but I've been holding out because it's something I never hear anybody talk about. But I'll show you guys examples in a later video, like I said. But have you noticed that Pluto, the symbol for Pluto, it looks like an evil person, right? Like, you know how they show, like, say, for example, Disney villains, especially the female ones. They have this collar on whatever they're wearing that, like, it goes up. How do I explain this with my third house transits brain right now? It's like, doesn't this look like that? You know how like the evil queens and stuff, they'll wear like some sort of suit or outfit or something, or shirt or blouse, and the collar, it's like got these sides to it that raise up, you know, to make them look even more like evil and powerful. I don't know. I should have put some pictures up, but I didn't plan on speaking about this right now. But Pluto looks like an evil villain. You know, here's their head, this is the rest of their body, and then here's like those, you know, the collar thingy, like mwahaha. You can imagine whoosh, you know, they're being evil, and flames are whooshing behind them. Anyway, Lord of the Underworld, right? So that's how Pluto rules all that stuff. It rules evil and villains, and you know, people who are in positions of power, but they could be very evil with their power, right? And it's in the sign of Capricorn, which can also play that type of a role, a dictator role, you know, and disciplinarian, but like they're just real stingy and mean, nasty, disciplinarian. So Capricorn energy could be like that. Pluto can be like that. So be careful with this new moon. Some things may be brought to your attention regarding abuse of power, and maybe to all of our attention. So this can be like something that's globally, internationally, nationally, locally, you know, maybe even in your personal world. If anybody has been abusing their power in any type of way, whether that's you yourself or anybody else around you in your personal life, in your world, there could be something that's brought to light, because you know the sun and the moon, they're luminaries, they illuminate. So they're illuminating Pluto themed things, which could be very dark and, you know, dark in nature, low vibrational. Not everything about Pluto is low vibe. You know, like I said, Pluto can purge out things that are low vibe from your life. Pluto rules toxins, so it can plunge out and purge out toxins from your body or from your life, toxic people. So with this new moon, I would advise that if there's anyone in your life who is toxic and low vibrational and they abuse their power, maybe they do have some authority over you, or you know, they're like a step above you in some sort of rank in whatever it is that you do in life, but maybe they act like a complete asshole, you know, and they just are like, yeah, they have like dictator vibes and stuff. So this could be an opportunity for you to call them out on some things that have to do with that, or for you to say, you know what, I just want this person out of my life and, you know, do a lot of prayer and spiritual work to flush them out of your life. Okay. Pluto rules literal like plumbing and plunging and shit like that, you know, so just use that like metaphorically and symbolically with life matters. You know, get rid of all the nasty shit out of your life. This is a good new moon for doing so. So this can also be about personal power and gaining personal power too, because you know, maybe you've been taken for granted, taken advantage of. Maybe there's people that have like tried to walk all over you, and you know, Capricorn energy is very powerful. It doesn't always have to be like a dark power, you know, authoritarian who abuses it. I just had a discussion with a Capricorn earlier today about how other Caps can act like that. And even that Capricorn admitted that they've been like that, you know, at different times in their lives too, like overdoing it with the dictatorship attitude, you know. And so yeah, maybe if there's anyone in your life that acts like that, you know, get rid of them. Do what you got to do to push them out and to protect yourself. Pluto is also about protection. It rules security, protection. So there could be some things surrounding like your money and your assets, because Capricorn is an earth sign, which is about money and assets too. Something regarding business. There could also be like some sort of leaders in the world leaders, national leaders, local leaders to you, that there's some sort of maybe scandal that comes to light or something, especially because Mercury and Jupiter are together, and Mercury talks, right? and spreads information on a small scale, but Jupiter is spreading it on a large scale. And they're both in Aquarius, which is all about spreading things out to the masses, especially news. If you notice, a lot of talk show hosts, they are Aquarius something, whether that's Aquarius rising or Aquarius sun. Mostly I've seen a lot of them are, because they spread news and information to the masses. Okay. And Mercury and Jupiter, both planets of the mind, they are in that sign. So we could see something to do with some sort of leader, some authoritarian, some abuse of power that comes to the surface. Capricorn rules the government, it rules the military. And so maybe there's some things that may come to the surface and come to light, with authoritarian people in positions of authority within those organizations, or something to do with the organizations as a whole, like the government or the military or whatever. Okay. So yeah, this is a very powerful new moon, you guys. And I know every lunar event is powerful and everybody will blow each one up to be like powerful and, magical and all this shit. But no, seriously, like this one is because of Pluto's influence. They're so close to Pluto that the influence is like undeniable. Okay. All right. So we also have Mercury in a square aspect to Uranus on the 12th of January. I think it's like more early. It's like more early in the day, I'm gonna say. Yeah. So real early in the day, yeah, like in the morning over here in the US, we have Mercury in a square aspect to Uranus. But this is gonna be like even building up to the 12th and even like, following it. These two planets squaring off too. Yo, this is gonna be even more like of that activism vibe, and people speaking out and speaking up and getting on a platform and using their platform to speak out and all of that stuff. Yeah, Mercury square Uranus. Mercury's in Aquarius. The ruling planet of Aquarius is Uranus, and it's square and off. Okay, challenging. And Mars is still in the mix too. Hello. So yeah, there could be something involving government, leaders, people in high positions, and people are not agreeing with certain things, the masses, the people, and there's like news and information that's spread about it, or just people are just blowing up your social media, continuing to do that, because these are aspects that have been building, okay, since last week. So people are going to be like doing it even more and continuing all of that stuff. So just continue to, just expect to see all of that stuff even more. Okay. All right. So we do have, Mercury square Uranus. Yeah, this could be like sudden shocking news, or this could be like people just saying things out of nowhere with like zero filter and zero chill. All right. So just expect that. Okay. We also have Mars. Okay. We move to the 13th. And we have Mars is squaring Saturn. They're both at 3 degrees. 3 degrees of Taurus, 3 degrees of Aquarius. Mars square Saturn. Mars wants to just go, right? Move forward. And he doesn't like to be stopped. He has tunnel vision. Look, that arrow of Mars, he's pointing in a certain direction. He wants to keep going in that direction nonstop. Saturn is like a big ass stop sign. He's like, hold on, sir. Where are you going? Slow your roll. And Saturn is a cop. He rules the police force also. So he's stopping Mars, who's like speeding along. And he's just like, yo, man, I'm just trying to get to where I need to go. Okay. Like, why are you stopping me? Why are you bothering me? And Saturn asks like hella questions. Well, where are you going? Why are you going so fast? Yada, 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 yada. Is what you're doing, where you're going, is it beneficial to this, that, or the other? How, I don't know. He's going to ask a lot of questions. So how this applies to your life is, if you're trying to push forward and do something, Saturn stops you or slows you down and asks you a bunch of questions. Are the actions that you're taking really beneficial to you in the long run? Are they harmful to others? What is it exactly that you're doing right now? It asks a lot of questions. And it could be annoying. It could be frustrating. And that's how this energy can play out for you, is you're just trying to get certain things done in your life and you feel like there's stops or blocks and hurdles and obstacles to get through. So it doesn't mean that it's impossible and it's going to block you completely from doing what you want to do, but it's just going to slow you down and make it a little more difficult during this time. So you may if you're a worker, this can transpire in that area of your life, to where you're trying to get some work done and your boss, which Saturn rules bosses, or anybody that's above you, is stopping you and asking you to, oh, well, now can you do this, and can you do this as well, and well, you thought you were done, but no, you still have to do this and this. It can turn out that way too. I mean, it can turn up in your life in that way. But this can also it makes you slow down and it makes you work harder, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe this can benefit you in some sort of way, to where if you're trying to achieve things and execute things, you may take more time and use more logic and stuff to get things done, rather than just impulsivity, especially because they're in fixed signs. Like Taurus stops and thinks, Aquarius stops and thinks, those signs are like that. So it's not so bad when it's in these signs, unlike when it was in Aries and Cap is the cops for real, and Aries is the I don't give a F criminal with their middle finger up, speeding in a red sports car at 100 miles an hour on the freeway, and it's those two extremes like that. But also on the 13th, we have the moon moving into Aquarius. So it goes from the Capricorn party in the sky to the Aquarius party in the sky. So here we go. Moon in Aquarius, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, all in Aquarius. And they're squaring Mars and Uranus. Oh my God. So the activism and social justice warrior energy is so oh my gosh, this week is riddled with it, just like last week was. Same thing this week as well, you guys. So the vibe is most definitely within that zone, to where people are speaking up and speaking out and all of that. There's nothing wrong with it. It is necessary. Aquarian types are here to move the whole world ahead and leave behind a lot of old, outdated ways of thinking and doing that hinder people. You know what I'm saying? And Aquarius energy is about all inclusivity of everyone. All humans have rights and all that stuff. Yes, we most definitely need that energy here on planet Earth. And this Aquarius party in the sky is going to keep pushing for that. However, I always give the flip side of the coin. Aquarius energy is really dope and shows us new things and new ways of thinking and doing and outside the box, and embracing people being their authentic selves and all that shit, right? But at the same time, if you don't feel like participating in that, if you're on social media, it's going to be hard to avoid posts like that. And then also this energy being co-ruled by Saturn, and with Saturn in the mix, please try your best, people, to not go the pushy, authoritarian asshole route with your activism or speaking out, and think that every single person on this planet has to say something and do something and join in with you, or else they're a terrible person. And just try not to have that attitude and make people feel that way, oh, well, where are you? How come you're not speaking up? How come you're not? What do you stand for? Just leave people alone, all right? If people want to join your little movements and stuff, they will join. Okay, the people that are meant to join and that want to, they will. And the people that don't, they're supposed to take a different route in life. And maybe that includes just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Doing their part, staying in their lane, and doing something else other than what you want them to do. Because kind reminder, once again, Aquarius energy is associated with cults and stuff like that. Okay, It's one of the signs that are. So just try not to go that route, the cult dictator route of gathering everyone, and if they don't want to gather with you, then they must be punished, or they're like stupid, or they're just like bad people. No. No. And try not to go the route of that, you didn't know this already. Lord have mercy. I always have to warn about this with Aquarius energy. If you guys listen to me all the time and you're tired of me repeating the same thing, I'm sorry, but I have to say it. I always have to give this warning. You didn't know this already? No, Aquarius. Not everybody thinks like you, okay, or has a superior brain and knowledge of the world and the universe like you do. I already got told those exact words by an Aquarius this week. Like, oh my God. I was like, here we go. You didn't know about this. You didn't know that the judicial system of the government and blah, 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 all these big words about politics. And I'm like, no, my G, I don't know. That's stuff you learned in elementary school. Girl, do you know how fucking long it's been since I've been in elementary school, number one? Number two, if it doesn't apply to my everyday life, maybe I'm not going to remember all of that stuff. But everyone should know. No, not everybody should know this. Everybody's brains are different. Our paths are different. You know what I'm saying? So just remember all of that, you guys. Like, don't do that. You don't know this. No, not everybody knows the same things. And I know that Aquarius energy wants everybody to be one. But just please respect other people not wanting to join in on your oneness. And they, wherever their mind is at is where their mind is at. Just leave them be. All right. So anyway, the moon will be in Aquarius from the 13th until the 15th. We do have Venus making a trine aspect to Uranus. Where's she at? Venus will be making a trine to Uranus. This is good energy right here. It's a little chaotic, just a little disrupting and stuff like that. Because Venus is stable. She wants to be stable, and secure when she's in earth signs, especially like Capricorn. And then she's making a trine to Mars and a trine to Uranus. Now, these are really good aspects. However, Uranus's energy is chaotic. He is like, he'll throw you, you'll be somewhere, and then he'll pick you up and throw you somewhere else, butt naked, stripped down of all your money and all your resources and assets and everything, and laugh at you and say, figure it out. What are you going to do now? Woo-hoo-hoo. That's the energy of Uranus. So when it comes to your money, your love life, things that you enjoy, maybe this little bit of lightning bolts can strike you in your world and surprise you. But because there's a trine aspect, which is generally pretty positive, maybe it's some good surprises. Maybe some good surprises pop up in love. A Venus and Uranus aspect, a lot of times people do meet somebody different, somebody new, or, maybe something that wasn't really moving along that already existed when it comes to love or money. Maybe it was stagnant and just like, just trailing along. Lightning will strike, boom, and it'll cause like a tower moment, like we say in tarot, to where something totally changes, So maybe you receive some surprise money, or surprise, somebody pops up out of the blue that you hadn't heard from in a long time, or somebody new pops up in your life, something like that. Okay, or maybe you are just craving a little something strange. Nothing wrong with that. With Venus and Uranus, when Venus rules your looks too, fashion, vanity, and all of that. So Uranus is rebelliousness and uniqueness. So a lot of times people under a transit like this, they want to get a new tattoo, they want to get a new piercing, they want to color or cut their hair in some sort of crazy different way. All right, so you just want something different, or you want to dress differently. You want to buy like a clothing item that's like, it's it's like totally different from how I usually dress. It may be a little weird, quote unquote, but you know what, fuck it, this is what I want. This is me, this is who I am. Love me, leave me, or leave me be. That is Venus and Uranus right there all day. Okay, so that's on the 15th. I forgot to mention that's on the 13th, my bad. Yeah, that's on the 13th. Okay, so on the 14th, this is when we have the sun in a conjunction with Pluto exactly. Now, this aspect has been building up because, like I said, the new moon a few days before, it was in a conjunction with Pluto. Now we have the Sun and Pluto together exactly, right? Okay, it's more so like in the morning of the 14th, or early in the day, wherever you're at. So, Sun and Pluto days, a couple things with this. Now, like I said, Pluto is the lord of the underworld. Look at his evil little suit with the evil collar, right? But so Pluto can make people like think more on the darker side, be attracted to the darker side. So maybe people might be more into things that are considered dark, okay, or taboo. So people could be more interested in things like murder mysteries, shows like The First 48 or Forensic Files or horror movies, or, wanting to dig deep and into things that were like secret. So the secret life of so and so, hidden secrets behind this, that, or the other, or maybe even just something as innocent as like behind the scenes of such and such movie or show that you don't see, like anything that you don't see on TV or the movie that was put out, behind the scenes or secret, this and that, Easter eggs of the movie or the show. This aspect has already been building, and that's what I have been binge watching and listening to, is behind the scenes stuff myself. But yeah, anything involving, I don't know, like scary stuff and dark stuff is the Sun and Pluto together. This energy is always good for research and investigation. Yes, people can act a little creepy under this, they could be creeping down the back street on D's, like spying on your house, watching what you're doing. So popping out of your bushes and shit, like just be careful with this energy. Sun and Pluto energy, it does bring out the creepiness in people to where they're just like, all you see is a pair of googly eyes in your bushes in front of your house, and you're like, who the fuck is that, So yeah, that's the type of energy that's the type of behaviors and vibe that some may do under this energy. Sun and Pluto energy, it can bring out people's more protective sides, their possessive and jealous sides too. It can also bring out a very dark or like a very deep passionate side as well, which is nothing wrong with that. Hello. So Sun and Pluto energy is very much like Scorpio energy, because Pluto rules Scorpio, so everybody gets a taste of Pluto's vibes, really, really heavy on the 14th in January. I would say just try to avoid being paranoid, and yeah, once again, super jealous and possessive and stuff, but it can make you real curious. Try not to get into that stalker vibe though. Don't be a creepy McCreeperson. All right. Okay. And don't be staring at people like, with weird googly eyes. Oh my gosh, that just reminds me of like a stalker one of a few stalkers I've had on social media, and he had to be Scorpio or Pluto something. He had big bulging googly eyes, and he kept sending me pictures of himself. He was nothing to look at, honey, trust me. And sending a picture of himself just saying, hey, and I would never answer, and hey there, hey, and I'm like, dude, why are you just talking to yourself in my DMs? Because I'm not opening this shit. Like, yo, this is so crazy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the way his eyes look, he must be Pluto something, like super popping out googly. It was scary, man. Please, nobody, if that sounds like you, don't bother me. Please leave me alone. I don't need any more of you. All right. So anyway, that's the 14th Sun conjoined to Pluto. And then these aspects that I just talked about, they're all still really popping for the rest of the week. Sun and Pluto, Venus and Mars, Venus and Uranus, Mercury with Jupiter, Mercury with Saturn. Okay, they're all just lingering through the rest of the week. The only other changes are really like the moon phases. The sun, third house transits are a trip. Okay, let me gather myself. All right. The moon goes into Pisces. Moon goes into Pisces on the 15th and stays until the 18th, but I'm only covering through the 17th. Okay, so the moon goes into Pisces, It could be late in the day or into the next day if you're in a different country other than the US. But moon and Pisces days are generally pretty chill, and this helps to relieve some of the Saturnian pressure of all the rest of the energy that's in the sky. Once the moon gets into Pisces, we might be able to step back into la la land, like when the moon was in Sag. It's more about you might participate in this big Saturnian party, but then you'll like find an escape and share memes and joke and laugh and not take life as seriously. And then once the moon gets into Pisces, it's more of a chill vibe. There is escapism involved, and it's escapism through like movies and music, and some people may drink, some people may, smoke a little something or whatever it is that you do, okay? But yeah, some people may sleep a little more when the moon is in Pisces. It's very hippie-ish. If you if you know any Pisces artists like whose music sounds like flowing water and super flowy, hippie-ish. I always think of, I'm a big fan of R&B music. I like all different kinds of music, but what touches my soul, one of the genres it does is R&B. So I always think of Janae Aiko, who is Pisces sun and moon, Erykah Badu, Pisces sun and moon, SZA, a Pisces moon, Kehlani, a Pisces moon, Prince, a Pisces moon, Michael Jackson. Like, they all have music that's about escaping and escapism pretty much. And so I think of those type of artists when the moon is in Pisces. So yeah, that vibe is popping the 15th through the 18th. And then on the 17th we have Jupiter square Uranus. Okay, let's talk about this real quick and then we're gonna wrap it up. So Jupiter and Uranus squaring each other. Where are they at? Oh, this is the exact time too. Okay, 4:10 p.m. in the west coast of the US. Look at this. 6:44 of Aquarius, 6:44 of Taurus. Okay, so they're squaring off, right? So yeah, this energy it just feels frustrating. Feels like groups of people being frustrated and wanting to make a big scene about it and a big deal about it, because Jupiter is big, it's expansive, it's and you know what I find about Jupiter transits too? They last a whole year, right? I find that Jupiter blows up scandals. Any scandal that you've seen within the last several years, Jupiter, whatever sign Jupiter is in, is what that scandal will be about. Example, Jupiter in Capricorn, scandals about people in positions of power. There was a big scandal about the military and the government and stuff like that. But I do remember like there were stories about the military last year, scandals within that organization. Okay, the year before that there was a big scandal. Jupiter and Sag rules college education. There was a scandal involving college education and celebrities and them like scheming and scamming, the educational system, right? And then the year before that, Jupiter and Scorpio, there was the Me Too movement. Okay, Scorpio, it rules, unfortunately, like rape and stuff like that can happen. It rules everything below the belt, right? So anything negative that can happen in that area, okay? Scorpio rules that. And then so there was scandals, with Jupiter and Scorpio. Jupiter and Aquarius, squaring Uranus and Taurus. Maybe we might there might be something that's blown up that has to do with, that goes viral. Something may go viral around January 17th. It could have to do with like YouTuber, like influencers are ruled by Aquarius as well, and Uranus. So maybe something viral to do with influencers, social media stars or something. Maybe something to do with a social media app perhaps, or a website or something. We may see that around the 17th. I'm just throwing that out there with Jupiter square Uranus. But yeah, people are really heavily into their activism. They're all up on that right now. So it could just be something involving groups that have to do with I don't know, political groups and stuff like that, you know, because Saturn is also in the mix here. Okay, and so is Mars. Raw fighting, right? Mars and Saturn are both associated with the military and wars and stuff like that. Saturn's like the general and the drill sergeant. Look at he's got a little drill sergeant hat on. Look, and then Mars is the soldier. You know, the no limit soldier. That's Mars. He just receives orders from Saturn and carries them out, executes them, goes for the kill. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, these two energies are angry at each other too. So yeah, I don't know. There's so many different things, you guys, that I could say. I am just talking up a storm right now. And I'm losing my breath. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on. So many different energies flying around this week. I don't know if it'll be crazy as the previous week, but there could be there's still going to be some things popping off, you guys. Especially the closer that we get to Mars and Uranus together. They're exact on the 20th, but Mars, oh my god. And then Uranus is going to go direct and Mars can join it. Yo, listen, don't be surprised. I've already been saying this. If in the month of January at some point there's not more rioting, looting, protesting that involves destruction of property, and especially like retail and stores and, you know, yeah, just general material, physical property with Mars and Uranus together, squaring all this Aquarius shit. Okay. So just keep that in mind, be aware, be on the lookout, and try to just stay in your lane, man. Mind your business. That's all. Mind your business. But yeah, that's it, you guys, for the month. I'm sorry, for the week of January 10th through the 17th. I need to slow down. I can't help it with all this Cap energy in my third house. I'm such like a Gemini. Gemini's the third sign, you know, so I'm like blah, 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 all over the place. But don't forget, once again, you know, personal reading, I am only accepting orders through the end of this week, okay? So that I can make sure I take care of everybody that's already in queue, which is a lot of you guys. And I appreciate all of you. Trust me, okay? So yes, relationship and love readings do include horoscopes, and so does a career reading. I have a natal chart. I read your chart. I tell you what it says about your personality, okay? And then love and money, there's different readings focusing on those. A solar return if you want to know how 2021 is going to go for you personally, but generally month of January, those horoscopes are here, as well as 2021 general horoscopes for your sign. Okay, so check my website. I'll leave the info in this video and below it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good week. Just stay sane and productive, and stay safe out here in these streets, meaning the streets meaning Earth, man. It's just, this whole planet is just crazy right now. So take care, you guys, and I will see you in the next one.